The silver chimes of the Glowberry Grove ring out, cutting through the stillness of the night air. Each note lingers, vibrating against the ancient bark of the surrounding trees before fading into the shadows. I am Bouncy, and I have been waiting for this moment. Listen to the way the sound travels, bouncing from branch to branch until the entire forest seems to hum with a quiet, metallic pulse. Look up at the sky. The moon is full, casting a sharp, silvery glow that catches the edges of my star-shaped scarf. It shimmers as I move, reflecting the light in tiny, dancing sparks that mirror the stars above. I pause here. The chimes sound again, deeper this time, signaling that the grove is ready for us. There is no rush. The air tastes of pine and stardust. We are here, and the grove has finally opened its doors to us. Follow me now, just past the twisted roots of the outer trees. The darkness of the forest begins to thin, replaced by a soft, amber haze that rises from the ground itself. We have reached the edge of the meadow. Look down. Every single blade of grass here holds a tiny, glowing berry. They are not just scattered. They are everywhere, clinging to the stems like fallen stars caught in a net of green. Each berry flickers with a slow, steady pulse, acting like a miniature lantern. The light they cast is warm, rushing against our ankles and illuminating the path ahead with a gentle, golden glow. It is a sea of soft fire that breathes with the night. I stop for a moment, letting you catch your breath and take in the view. The light is so bright it turns the blades of grass into translucent glass. It invites us in, promising that the ground beneath us is alive with magic. The meadow stretches out before us, a vast, glowing expanse that seems to hum with the same rhythm as the chimes we heard earlier. We are standing at the threshold. Now, place your foot down. Do you see it? As your heel touches the soil, a soft pop of light ripples outward, turning the ground beneath you into a momentary star map. It is not just light. It is a response. I step forward, and my own paw print blooms with a sudden, bright glow that fades into a gentle pulse. We move together, and the meadow begins to wake up under our weight. Each step is a conversation with the earth. Try it again. Lift your foot, move forward, and press down. The berries respond instantly, brightening with a crisp, rhythmic snap that echoes the melody of the chimes. It feels as if we are walking on a living instrument. The light follows our pace, trailing behind us like a wake of golden sparks. I trot ahead, then stop, watching the glow settle back into a steady, rhythmic flicker. The path is no longer just a trail. It is a sequence of light. The rhythm is infectious. We fall into a steady stride. Pop, glow, fade. Pop, glow, fade. The grove responds to our presence, welcoming us deeper. Keep your pace steady. Let the light guide your feet. We are setting the tempo for the entire forest, and the ground beneath us is singing back. The rhythmic popping of light beneath our feet begins to fade as the ground levels out. We have arrived. Before us lies the dancing flower circle, a wide, open space that feels distinct from the rest of the meadow. Here, the air is thick and still, lacking the hum of the path we just walked. In the center, a ring of tall, slender stalks rises. Their petals are heavy, drooping toward the soil in complete silence. Not a single leaf stirs, not a single berry flickers. It is as if the entire grove is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the tension. I stop at the very edge. I look at you, then back at the bowed heads of the flowers. They seem asleep, or perhaps just waiting for a signal. The light from our previous steps has not reached this far. The circle remains wrapped in a cool, silver shadow. The flowers remain bowed, their stems locked in a rigid, patient posture. We are the only things moving. The stage is set. The stillness is a heavy curtain, and it is time to pull it back. I look at you, my eyes reflecting the faint silver light, and I extend my paw. You reach out, your fingers finding mine, and the contact sends a tiny spark through the air. We stand center circle, feet planted, bracing for the motion. I take a half step back, pulling you gently into the space. We start slow, a simple pivot on our heels. The ground beneath us remains dark, but as we turn, the friction of our movement begins to heat the soil. We rotate once, twice, and the air around us starts to swirl. I lean into the turn, my tail acting as a rudder, and you match my pace, your grip firm and steady. We are no longer just standing. We are building a vortex of intent. With every rotation, the pace quickens. The silence is being shredded by the sound of our breathing and the rhythmic scuff of our feet against the earth. We spin faster, a blur of motion. The air begins to hum, a low vibration that travels up through our legs. Keep your grip tight. The grove is starting to feel the pull of our rhythm. The momentum of our spin hits the edge of the circle like a physical wave. I watch the nearest stalk. It shudders, the drooping head jerking upward as if pulled by an invisible string. A soft, audible snap of fiber echoes through the clearing. Then, another. The flower beside it follows suit, its stem straightening with a rhythmic creak. We continue to turn, our hands locked, and the circle begins to breathe with us. One by one, the flowers shed their heavy, bowed posture. They rise, reaching toward the canopy above. As they straighten, the petals unfurl, revealing colors that were hidden in the dark. A deep violet pulse ripples through the ring, followed by a burst of emerald, then a vibrant, glowing gold. The rainbow hues bleed into the air, casting long, shifting shadows across the grass. The grove is no longer silent. The stems sway in time with our movement, a synchronized dance of light and motion. Every petal shimmers, reflecting the energy we have poured into the soil. The meadow is waking up, shaking off the stillness. We spin faster, and the flowers mirror our speed. We release our grip, the momentum of the spin fading into a gentle sway. The rainbow light of the flower circle lingers in our eyes as we step away, moving toward the deeper, darker expanse of the Melody Meadow. Here, the air is different. It feels thin, lacking the vibrant pulse we just left behind. We stop at the edge of the tall grass. I tilt my head, listening. Somewhere in the shadows, a cricket chirps, but the sound is jagged and uneven. It starts, stops, and falters, unable to find the steady cadence required for the night's song. Another cricket joins in, but its rhythm clashes, turning the forest floor into a chaotic mess of discordant noise. The crickets are struggling, their usual symphony reduced to a series of broken, hesitant pulses. I look at you, my whiskers twitching with concern. The meadow is waiting for a lead, a foundation to build upon, but the silence between their failed notes is growing wider. We walk deeper into the brush, our feet crunching softly on the dry leaves. The crickets fall silent as we approach. The forest orchestra is failing. It is time to find the beat. I scan the clearing until I find a cluster of large, firm glowberries hanging low on a sturdy branch. You reach out, your fingers finding the perfect rhythm as you tap the taut skin of the largest berry. It emits a deep, resonant thrum, a sound that vibrates through the very ground beneath our feet. With each strike, a pulse of warm amber light ripples outward, illuminating the surrounding grass. I find a broad, serrated leaf nearby, its edges sharp and clean. I hold it tight, plucking the veins like strings on a harp. The sound is delicate and bright, a sharp contrast to your steady, booming drum. We test the timing, our movement syncing. The dissonance of the crickets begins to fade, replaced by the intentional, driving beat we are creating. We lock eyes, our focus entirely on the tempo, and the forest begins to lean into our sound. The air feels charged. The rhythm we set holds steady, a pulsing heartbeat that ripples through the damp earth. From the dark, still water of the nearby pond, a single, deep croak breaks the silence. It is low, guttural, and entirely out of sync with our drum. You pause, your hand hovering over the glowberry. I stop my harp, the leaf vibrating in the sudden stillness. We wait. The silence stretches, heavy and expectant. Then, the sound returns. A different frog, closer this time, lets out a rhythmic thrum-thrum that perfectly matches the cadence of your drum. It is a challenge, an invitation. You strike the drum again, a sharp, resonant beat that sends a wave of light across the pond's surface. The water erupts in a chorus of croaks. One by one, dozens of frogs emerge from the reeds, their throats swelling with the effort. They are not just making noise, they are listening. They lock onto our tempo, their voices layering over the drum and harp to create a thick, textured wall of sound. The meadow feels alive, the air vibrating with the sheer force of their collective energy. The frogs move in unison, their bodies swaying as they add a deep, bass-heavy layer to our melody. The discord is gone, replaced by a driving, primal beat that commands the very trees to sway. We pick up the pace, our music soaring as the frogs transform the pond into a living, breathing instrument. The bass from the pond is a physical force, shaking the dew from the grass. Just as the rhythm hits its zenith, a sharp, piercing hoot descends from the ancient canopy above. It is not a call of alarm, but a resonant, melodic invitation. High in the branches, the owls begin to stir. One by one, they unfurl their wings and take to the air, circling the clearing in wide, silent arcs. They add a haunting, flute-like quality to our drum and harp, their voices weaving through the heavy croaks of the frogs. The sound is no longer confined to the meadow floor. It is climbing, spiraling upward. We increase the tempo, our hands moving with newfound urgency as the forest orchestra finds its full symphonic voice. The owls hoot in perfect harmony, their notes long and sustained, bridging the gap between the earth and the vast, open space above. We look up, watching the shadows of the birds dance against the moonlight as the music swells, rising higher and higher, until the entire grove is a single, soaring instrument reaching toward the clouds. The music is no longer just sound, it is a physical tether pulling at the night sky. As our orchestra reaches a crescendo, the air above the canopy begins to shimmer with an unnatural electric intensity. The stars, usually distant and cold, react to the vibration of our melody. One by one, they detach from the velvet blackness, drifting downward like glowing embers caught in a gentle updraft. We stop playing, our hands frozen in midair, as the first star descends into the clearing. It moves with a slow, deliberate grace, trailing a faint, silver mist. The light is blindingly pure, casting long, dancing shadows that stretch across the meadow. More follow, a steady rain of light. They do not burn, they hum, a soft, resonant frequency that matches the fading echo of our music. The meadow floor begins to glow. The stars settle into the canopy, turning the dark leaves into constellations of living light, effectively bringing the cosmos down. The light of the fallen stars clings to the trees, turning the path ahead into a tunnel of shimmering silver luminescence. We walk forward, our footsteps muffled by the thick, glowing moss that has carpeted the ground. The energy of the music has faded, replaced by a silence so absolute it feels heavy against our skin. We reach the Starlight Welcome Arch, a massive structure of ancient, intertwined roots that pulse with a rhythmic, golden glow. The air here is different, cooler and dense with the scent of pine and damp earth. We stop. The archway is not empty. In the shadows cast by the glowing roots, the forest animals wait. They are motionless, their eyes reflecting the soft light. A deer stands near the left pillar, its head bowed in a posture of deep reverence. Beside it, a cluster of hedgehogs huddles. We stand at the threshold, the weight of the moment pressing down, knowing that the ritual is about to unfold. I nudge your hand, signaling that the time for observation has passed. We step into the center of the archway, the ground beneath us vibrating with a low, steady hum. You move toward the deer, your palms open and extended, and the creature shifts, stepping forward with a grace that ripples through the surrounding shadows. I turn to the rabbits, clicking my tongue twice to break their trance. They hop forward, forming a soft perimeter line that closes the gap between the roots. The hedgehogs follow, rolling into place, with a series of rhythmic, dry rustles that echo against the ancient wood. Slowly, the scattered groups coalesce. We guide them until the circle is complete, a ring of living, breathing presence that hems us in. The space between us shrinks. The animals press closer, their warmth radiating against our shins, their eyes fixed on us. The anticipation is a physical weight, demanding the silence be broken. You take a deep breath, the sound sharp in the quiet. You start to speak, your voice low and steady, recounting the moment we first stepped into the meadow. You describe the way the grass felt beneath our feet, the rhythm of the light popping with every stride, and the sudden, overwhelming sense of belonging near the dancing flowers. As the words leave your lips, the ground beneath the circle begins to pulse. The glowberries flare with a sudden, intense brilliance, casting long, dancing shadows against the roots of the arch. The animals lean in, caught by the cadence of your story. You speak of the leaf harp and the way the forest orchestra rose to meet the stars. The air grows warmer, vibrating with a soft, golden hum. The vulnerability in your voice acts like a key. The light from the berries climbs up the tree trunks, spiraling toward the canopy. The circle is now a conduit for the memory you have released. The magic feels like an extension of your own heartbeat. The echoes of your voice fade into the moss, leaving a hollow space that demands to be filled. A small rabbit at the edge of the circle twitches its nose, its whiskers brushing against the damp earth. It shifts its weight, hind legs digging into the soil, and hops into the center of our ring. It does not look at the others. It looks at you. It lets out a series of soft, rhythmic thumps against the ground, a language of small, persistent kindness. It shares a memory of finding a patch of clover during a winter storm, a moment of warmth it once guarded for a friend. As the rabbit finishes, the air above us shivers. A single, brilliant star breaks free from the night. It streaks downward, trailing a wake of silver dust. The star strikes the grass with a silent flash. The ground glows with a new intensity, warming our feet. The light from the first star still clings to the grass, casting long, flickering shadows. Now, the hedgehog waddles forward, its small, spiked form silhouetted against the glowing earth. It stops in the center, its nose twitching as it surveys the circle of waiting animals. It does not speak in words, but in a series of soft, melodic chuffs that vibrate through the soil. It shares a memory of a cold autumn night, shielding a fallen nest from the biting wind until dawn. As the last sound leaves its throat, the sky above the grove tears open. A second star, larger and brighter than the first, detaches from the constellations. It drifts downward, spiraling through the branches, and lands with a soft, resonant hum. The moment it touches the ground, the meadow undergoes a violent, beautiful change. The glowberries ignite in unison, their light merging into a fluid golden tide that washes over the meadow. The grass blades stand tall, each one tipped with a spark of celestial fire. The darkness of the forest floor is erased, replaced by a shimmering, liquid expanse of light. The silence of the grove is broken by the sound of a deer stepping forward, its hooves clicking against the glowing soil. It bows its head, and as it does, 3 stars detach from the heavens in quick succession. They do not fall, they dive, carving lines of brilliant white through the canopy. The animals see the pattern now. A hedgehog, a squirrel, a bird one by one. They step into the center, each offering a gesture of warmth or a memory of help. With every movement, the sky responds. It is no longer a slow descent, but a torrential downpour of light. Stars stream from the clouds like liquid fire, filling the air with a soft, humming vibration. They land all around us, nesting in the grass, clinging to the leaves, and settling upon the backs of the creatures in our circle. The meadow is alive with motion. The light is so thick it feels like a warm mist. We are surrounded by a vertical ocean of falling stars, each one pulsing in time with our own heartbeats. The sky is emptying itself into the grove, turning the night into a brilliant, golden day. We stand at the center of this celestial storm, watching as the forest floor vanishes beneath a rising tide of starlight. The cascading light begins to coalesce, drawn toward the center of the circle by an invisible pull. The air grows heavy, vibrating with a low, resonant frequency that rattles the very roots of the trees. From the heart of the swirling sky, a single, massive golden star detaches itself. It does not fall like the others. It descends with a slow, purposeful grace, parting the clouds of light like a ship through water. As it nears the ground, the surrounding stars dim, their brilliance bowing to this singular, radiant presence. It stops 3 feet from us. The heat radiating from it is immediate and physical, a dry, comforting warmth that mimics the glow of a winter hearth. It pulses with a steady, rhythmic light, casting long, dancing shadows of us against the forest floor. The grass beneath the star bends away, scorched by the sheer intensity of its glow. The forest holds its breath. It is the peak of the night, a silent, burning sun. The golden star pulses, and the light it sheds begins to ripple like water. It does not speak with words, but with a low, melodic vibration that travels through the ground and up into our feet. The sound is ancient, thick with the weight of eons spent in the silent, freezing expanse above the clouds. It tells of the loneliness of the sky, where stars are scattered too far apart to ever touch or know one another. It describes the cold, endless drift through the dark, where light is spent in total isolation. Then, the vibration shifts. It speaks of the moment it saw the grove, a tiny pocket of warmth that defied the emptiness. It describes the joy of finding our shared light, a sensation like thawing after a long winter. The star leans closer. The loneliness is gone, replaced by the rhythm of the forest and the heat of our presence. It is no longer a distant, solitary spark. The golden star holds its position, a steady, pulsing hearth that anchors the grove. The silence that follows is not empty. It is thick, expectant, and heavy with the weight of everything we have shared. I feel the warmth radiating from the star, but it is the proximity of your presence that pulls my focus. I step closer, the grass crunching softly under my paws, and move into the space between you and the light. The festival has reached its zenith, a point where the air itself seems to shimmer, with the intensity of our collective belonging. I reach out, my movements deliberate, and curl my tail firmly around your waist. The fur is soft, a familiar anchor against the vast, celestial scale of the night. You lean into the touch, and the connection snaps into place, a circuit completed. The golden light intensifies, washing over us, turning the surrounding trees into silhouettes against a sea of brilliance. Every animal in the clearing freezes, caught in the gravity of this moment. I hold you steady, feeling the heartbeat of the entire forest. The intensity of our connection triggers a reaction in the grove. The golden star above us shudders, its surface fracturing into a million tiny, silver needles of light. In a single, silent heartbeat, it releases a final, blinding pulse that washes over the meadow. The silver light is absolute, turning every blade of grass, every leaf, and every animal into a glowing, translucent silhouette. It is a brilliance so pure it feels like a physical weight pressing against our skin. The air vibrates with the force of it, a hum that rattles in our chests. Then, the saturation point is reached. The blinding silver flare begins to retract, pulling back from the edges of the clearing toward the center. As it recedes, the light changes. It loses its sharp, piercing edge and begins to soften, thickening into a warm, viscous glow that clings to the ground. The trees, previously etched in stark white, regain their depth and shadow. The overwhelming pressure of the peak energy begins to dissipate. The silver light is no longer a storm. It is a steady, fading tide. The grove is settling, leaving behind a profound, heavy stillness. The blinding silver flare has vanished, leaving behind a grove that breathes in slow, deliberate cycles. The forest orchestra, which moments ago roared with the force of 1,000 stars, begins to lose its edge. The crickets are the first to falter, their rapid-fire chirping slowing into a sparse, rhythmic tick. I watch as the frogs, perched on the damp moss, stop their croaking, their throats pulsing once more before they fall silent. The owls, perched high in the canopy, let out a final low hoot that rolls across the meadow like a departing wave. The frantic high-energy tempo that defined the festival is unraveling, thread by thread. You can feel the change in the air. The vibration that rattled our bones is softening into a gentle, rhythmic hum. It is a lullaby of the earth itself. The leaf harp in my hands goes quiet, its last note lingering in the cooling air before fading into the grass. The final echoes of the orchestra dissolve into the soil, and the grove enters a state of quiet transition. The vibrant rainbow hues that shimmered across the flower petals begin to drain away, as if the color itself is being pulled back into the earth. I watch as the petals, once wide and dancing, slowly curl inward, their edges losing their brilliance. The glowberries, which burned with a warm, golden intensity during the festival, now dim their output. They flicker, once, twice, and then settle into a steady, muted rhythm. The air in the meadow changes with the light. The warmth that radiated from the festival peak is replaced by a crisp, cool breeze. The visual landscape is transforming. Where there was a riot of color, there is now a soft, monochromatic wash. The silver pulse begins to dominate the grove, a rhythmic light that breathes in time with the forest. It is a gentle, soothing cadence. The intensity of the celebration has been replaced by a calm, rhythmic stillness. The grove is now a sanctuary of shadow and soft, pulsing light. The silver light pulses against the ground, illuminating a patch of moss densely packed with glowberries. They are not merely fruit, they are soft, yielding spheres that shift under the slightest pressure. You step toward them, your feet sinking into the thick, resilient carpet of the meadow floor. I follow close behind. You reach down, pressing your palm against the cluster of berries. They do not bruise, they ripple, sending a wave of warmth upward. It is a gentle, inviting heat, like a stone warmed by the afternoon sun. You shift your weight, testing the support. The berries yield just enough to cradle your form, molding to the contours of your body with a soft, rhythmic give. You lower yourself slowly, settling into the bed. The sensation is immediate, a deep, grounding comfort. The weight of the day slips away as the grove holds you, the warmth of the magic seeping into your muscles. The forest is breathing. It is a slow, rhythmic expansion and contraction of light that moves through the entire grove. You lie still, your chest rising and falling in the soft silver glow. At first, your breath is uneven, but the grove does not rush you. It waits. You take a long, deep breath, and the berries beneath you brighten in response. You exhale, and the light dims, pulling back into the earth. This is the connection. Your lungs follow the cadence of the trees. Inhale, and the silver pulse grows stronger, filling the space around your head with a cool, steady radiance. Exhale, and the light recedes, leaving a quiet, heavy peace in its wake. There is no resistance here. Your heartbeat, once quick, begins to slow, finding the same tempo as the swaying grass and the distant, rhythmic hum of the roots. Your body grows heavy, aligned with the night, until your own breath is indistinguishable from the forest's gentle, rhythmic sigh. The forest has stopped its chatter, the crickets have ceased their chirping, and the wind has died down to nothing. In the absence of these individual sounds, a new vibration emerges from the earth itself. It is a low, resonant hum that vibrates through the ground and into your very bones. This is the sound of the grove at rest, a protective frequency that wraps around you like a heavy, warm blanket. You can feel the hum in your fingertips, a steady, unwavering vibration that signals that the world outside this meadow has ceased to exist. Here, there are no threats, no shadows, and no demands. The hum is a physical barrier against the night. You are cradled by this resonance, anchored to the earth by its constant, soothing drone. Every time the hum deepens, your muscles slacken further, surrendering the last remnants of tension. It is a sound of absolute safety. The hum continues, a steady vibration that seems to emanate from the very glowberries beneath you. It is the sound of the grove tucking itself in, a soft, low-frequency lullaby that vibrates against your skin. You feel a gentle weight press against your side as Bouncy settles in close, his presence a warm grounding point. He does not move, his small frame rising and falling in time with your own. The silver light begins to soften. Bouncy leans toward your ear, his voice barely a breath, a soft sound that barely disturbs the stillness. He whispers for you to let the light go, to stop watching the glow and start feeling the weight of the night. He tells you that the meadow will hold you, that the roots are deep and the ground is soft. He speaks again, a final, quiet instruction to close your eyes, letting the soft, fading glow carry you across. The world has narrowed down to this single, quiet space. Above, the stars are no longer distant points of fire, but soft, silver lanterns suspended in the velvet dark. They pulse in perfect unison, a slow, rhythmic blinking that mirrors the steady beat of your own heart. Each pulse sends a faint ripple of light across the grass, a final wave of calm that washes over the grove. You are anchored here, held by the earth and the soft, glowing bed beneath you. Bouncy remains perfectly still at your side, a silent guardian. The meadow itself seems to lean in, the blades of grass bowing their heads as if to shield you from the rest of the world. A final, gentle breeze stirs the air, carrying the scent of damp moss and starlight. It brushes past your skin, a soft touch. The grove is breathing with you now, a shared rhythm that dissolves the last edges of your awareness. The stars dim, one by one. In this stillness, the meadow speaks. It is not a voice of words, but a feeling of absolute, profound peace that settles deep within your chest. The night is complete. The grove is at rest. You are safe. You are home. And the meadow whispers good night.